Hi there, welcome back. We've reached episode 9 of making a resin guitar, and today, hopefully, will be the last day that we play with the mucky stuff and we can get back to proper tool work again. So today we're going to be pouring the last coat of shallow pour epoxy resin. For the reasons I explained in yesterday's episode, I'm not going transparent anymore. I'm going with a mica pigment to get that lovely enhanced metallic swirl. I still think that will go well with our green wood and the hardware that I'm eventually going to fit on this contraption. So without further ado, let's go. Now the first thing that we need to attend to today is that this epoxy that we poured yesterday, the shallow pour, it's nearly 24 hours. It's cured, it's hard, and we're pouring on top of it. And this is a smooth surface. And that means that the next pour will not adhere properly to it. The only way that we can deal with that is by taking some P320 sandpaper and then lightly sanding this to rough up the surface so that the epoxy that we're going to put down today has something to key into and adheres mechanically. So I'm going to crack on with a bit of sanding. Right, that's scuffed down quite nicely. So I'm now going to give it a quick rub down with some isopropyl alcohol just to get the dust off. It's worth noting that whilst I sanded, I also lightly scuffed the wood at the sides of where these resin ponds are. And the reason why I've lightly scuffed the wood is simply because I'd quite like the new coat of resin to adhere as tightly to the wood as possible, because I don't want this thing to drop off me when I'm playing it. That'd be uncomfortable. So for now, we're scuffed up and ready to go. So I think we're going to need to mix our last coat. Here we go again. I think you know the score. One of the things you have to do when you're mixing the resins is make sure that your mixing paddle goes all the way around the outside of the receptacle, or the inside of the jug that you're mixing in, and across the bottom as well. You don't want any areas in this mixture to not bond with the other part, so the epoxy and the hardener must be fully mixed. That's the reason why you need to mix for 3 minutes, to make sure that the chemicals get their chance to meet each other and get along nicely. That 3 minutes went quick, didn't it? Right, we're all mixed up. Now's the time that we need to add some black mica powder. This is the stuff that's going to make this resin black and metallic. I don't want to put too much in, but it does need to be enough to stain the resin. So we'll start off with that and give that a good mix. And just like that, it is done. So we've scuffed, and we've sanded, and we've prepared our final coat. All that remains is to do the final pour. After a while, bubbles appear on the top of the surface, tiny fine micro bubbles that form in the 3-minute mixing process. Now there are several methods for removing them, but this is my preferred. Take a blowtorch, ignite, and carefully pass it over the surface. No more bubbles. Now, after 3 pours, we have our final coat of resin laid down. So now the only thing to do is to occasionally see off the bubbles and let this properly cure. So I'm going to leave this for a period of 72 hours now to let the resin completely harden. before I even contemplate about taking it out of the mould. Now, those that are observant and that have been watching that process realise that there's a piece of wood just here and it appears to be submerged under the resin. Well, that's because it is, but you understand the shape of the guitar. This part is where your right hand is, which you move up and down when you're strumming the guitar. So Fender Stratocasters have a cutaway in that part of the guitar where the guitar body is actually narrower here than the rest of the body here. So that's quite natural, and the resin's found its way up and above it, as it would do because it's self-leveling. So when we get to the point of sanding and finishing, we're going to have to knock back this section here to reveal the green wood that's underneath it and restore the beveled edge that sits across the side of the guitar. But until then, the only thing to do now is wait and let time let this cure.